Jai Swaminarayan. Good morning to all. Here I am going to teach you poem number 5, The Legend of Northland. This poem was written by Phoebe Cary. First of all, I'll introduce about our author, our poet, Phoebe Cary. Phoebe Cary was born on 4th September 1824. He was born on 1824 and he was passed away in 1871. This poem was co-published by Phoebe Cary and his sister, whose name was Alice Cary. So both are co-published this poem in 1849, and the form of the story was a ballad form. So we have to learn that what is the meaning of ballad. Ballad is a part of folk culture. It passed on orally from one generation to the next. So one tells the another one and another tells the other. It is a song narrating story in short stanzas. It is a story which was divided in stanzas. So it called ballad. Let's start our poem. So here the first meaning, the title of the poem was The Legend of Northland. And what is legend? Legend is an old traditional story, and the meaning of Northland is the north of Europe or any land, polar area land, Greenland or that type of place. So let's start our poem. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. It is a story, it is a poem of Northland where the hours of the day are few, very few hours of the day. So we think that the night was very long, and the night are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. They cannot sleep entirely because the hours of the night are very, very much and the hours of the day are very few. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bear's cub in their funny furry clothes. Here the meaning of reindeer is one kind of animal. It is one kind of animal which residing in the north. To the sledges when it snows. Sledges means the animals used in this type of snowy area for transporting things. And the children look like bear's cub. Why the children looks like bear's cub? Because there are very thunder. So the children wear warm clothes from head to toe. So they have wear this type of clothes. So the hairy clothes, because of the hairy clothes, they looked like bear's cubs in their funny furry clothes, because they wear that type of clothes. So they also looks like funny, very funny in that type of clothes. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true. This is a short form of it's true. And yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. So the author says that in this season the children's like bear's cub, and he tells them, he wants to tell them this story, very curious story. So we also says that it is very interesting story. I don't believe it is true. Why he doesn't believe it is true? Because it is a legend. So he doesn't believe that it is true, because legend is a semi-true story also. And yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. And the poet says that he wants to tell one tale. One story to the children. Once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching, just as he did you know. There was one saint was lived there, and the name of the saint was Saint Peter. He was a good person because he was a priest, a saint. So Saint Peter was lived there, lived in the world below. And we all know that saints are going to one place to another place, and they are also doing fasting, and walked about it preaching, just as he did you know. We all know that what saints do. So students, we have already learned before it that the poet wants to tell us a story, to the children, and we should go ahead. He came to the door of the cottage in traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. So here the poet described that the saint came to one woman's cottage, and he was traveling a lot, so he was also tired and he was also hungry. So where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth, the saint goes to the cottage, and so that little woman make cakes and baking it on the hearth. Hearth means fireplace. She make cakes, and being faith with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. So the saint was very hungry and he wants to eat something. So he goes to the cottage of the woman and said her that please give me a little piece of cake, because he had shown it. And being faith with fasting, he was traveling a lot, for the day was almost done. The day was almost over, because it is the time of sunset. So the day was almost done. He asked her from the store of cakes to give him a single one. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it, and though it seemed too large to give away, she was making a very little cake. The dough was very little, but what happened? As it baking lay, when she put cake for baking, she looked at it, and though it seemed, she looked at that dough of that cake and thought, she think, too large to give away. The dough was very little, but the cake was very large. Therefore, she needed another, and steal a smaller one. But it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. First she made cake, then she think that it was too large. She doesn't want to give that to the saint, so she had made another dough. She think that it was a very small dough, so the cake was very small. That's why she needed another and still a smaller one. She had needed another one and it was a small than the another further. But it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. It was also as large as the first dough of cake. So here we can see that in these stanzas we can also see that the rhyming words. We have already learned what is rhyming words. So I just define it shortly, that the rhyming words are the words which pronounce the same. The words spellings are different, but pronunciation of that words are little same. So it called rhyming words. So here we can see in the second and fourth stanzas, second and fourth lines of every stanza, the rhyming words. Here we can say, so earth, hearth. In another stanza, done, one. In third stanza, lay, away. And here we can see, one, done. So these all are the rhyming words. Here in these stanzas, we can also see. So student, we go further. Then she looked a tiny scrap of dough and rolled it flat and baked it thin as a wafer. But she couldn't part with that. We already know that Saint went to the cottage of that old lady and want to eat a little piece of cake. But the lady was very greedy, so she didn't want to give him that type of large cake. Then she looked a tiny scrap of dough. She took some dough and a tiny scrap and rolled it flat and baked it thin as a wafer. We can see wafer, that wafer is a very thin. So she rolled that dough as wafer. But she couldn't part with that. But she also not satisfied that part of dough, that part of cake. For she said, my cakes that seem too small, when I eat of them myself, are yet too large to give away. So she put them on the shelf. Then she think that, for she said, my cakes that seem too small. She made a cake, and when she wants to eat that, it was very small for her. When I eat of them myself, when she wants to eat herself, and yet too large to give away. And she think that that portion was also large to give away to the saint. So she put them on the shelf. So she had put that cake, that piece of cake on the shelf. Shelf means where she put all the cakes she had prepared. Then good Saint Peter grew angry, for he was hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. She take a dough, she prepared cake, and she is not satisfied with that. So the saint was become very angry on her, because saint was very hungry because of fasting and because of preaching. And surely, for he was hungry and faint, he was very hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. That woman make a mistake, that type of mistake, that the saint was very angry on her. And he said, you are far too selfish to dwell in a human form, to have both food and shelter and fire to keep you warm. Now, saint become angry and he said that you are far too selfish. You are so selfish that you didn't want to give a little piece of cake to any other person or to me. To dwell in a human form. Here, dwell means live. You don't deserve to live in a human form. To have both food and shelter and fire to keep you warm. God gives you everything. Food, shelter and fire. But you don't deserve to these things. Now you shall build as the birds do, and should get your scanty food by boring and boring and boring, all day in the hard, dry wood. Saint was very angry on that greedy old lady, and he cursed. He was that much angry that he cursed that lady, that now you shall build as the birds do. You are living as a bird and shall get your scanty food. If you want just a little food, you have worked very hard. So, you have worked hard for scanty food by boring and boring and boring, by hard working. All day in the hard, dry wood. You have to digging that dry wood, and then you can make for herself shelter. Then up she went through the chimney, never speaking a word. And out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to the bird. Now what happened? Saint cursed that woman, and then she converted into a bird, a woodpecker bird. So what happened? Then up she went through the chimney. We all know that what is chimney? Chimney that exhausted smoke from our home. Never speaking a word. She speaks a single word. She doesn't speak a single word. And out of the top flew a woodpecker, and she flew away from that chimney, and she converted into woodpecker bird. For she was changed to the bird. She was transformed human into bird. She had a scarlet cape on her head, and that was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned black as a coal in the flame. At that time, what happened? She had a scarlet cap on her head. She has wear a scarlet cap, a red color, a brilliant red color cap on her head. And that was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned. All the rest of her clothes were burned. But the scarlet cap, that red color cap, couldn't burn. As it is, it was as it is. Black as a coal in the flame. Her whole clothes were burned and converted into black color, like coal. and every country school boy has seen her in the wood, where she lives in the trees till this very day, boring and boring for food. And every country school boy. Saint cursed the woman, she converted into bird, and then every country school boy has seen her in the wood. We have already seen woodpecker in countryside areas, rural areas, where she lives in the trees till this very day, boring and boring for food. She was digging, the woodpecker was digging and boring food for her. So, in this poem, we have already learned that the old lady was very greedy, and because of her greed, she became woodpecker, a bird. Saint cursed her and she converted into the bird. So now, students, what do you think? What is the moral of this story? We have learned whole poem, and the moral of the story is we should never be greedy. We should never be greedy people, because God gives us everything: food, shelter, fire, clothes, everything. And we should share these things to others. So it is very important to never become greedy. So it is the moral of the story. So in this poem, we have already learned rhyming words, and here we are learn figures of speech. In this poem, some figures of speech are used. So let's start with it. First, simile. What is simile? Simile is a comparison between two dissimilar things. Simile means two different words, and comparison between that two words. We can describe it with comparison. So, the example of the similes in this poem is, and the children look like bear's cub. And these children and bear's cub. These two words, in these two words, comparison is there. So, children look like bear's cub. We can define simile in two words. We can use in it like and as. So, like bear's cubs. Second example, and back is thin as a wafer. The dough and the bag, the lady rolled that dough of the cake, and back is thin as wafer, thin as wafer. Third example, black as a coal in the flame. Black, but what black? Black and coal, both are black. But here is the comparison between black and coal. Second figures of speech is alliteration. Alliteration means repetition of the same sound or syllable at the beginning of the two or more words. There are repetition between two sounds. Two or more words are also repeated in one line. So here we have example of it. First example, that they cannot sleep them through. Here, they, them, through. Tha sound is repeated again and again. Second example, in their funny furry clothes. Funny furry clothes. So here, F sound is repeated. In third example, now you shall build as a bird. Here build and bird is repeated. So here B sound is repeated. And the third figures of speech is repetition. Repetition means repeat the same words again and again. One word repeated again and again in one line. So here, first example, away, away in the north land. Here we can see that away, away. One word repeated again, away, away in the north land. So here away, away is used, repeated. Second example, by boring and boring and boring. Here boring is repeated, boring and boring and boring. This word repeated again and again. And the third example is and rolled it flat. Rolled and rolled. So here these figures of speech are used.